Section C, Directions. In this section, you will hear 3 passages. At the end of each passage, you will hear 3 or 4 questions. Both the passage and the questions will be spoken only once. After you hear a question, you must choose the best answer from the 4 choices marked A, B, C, and D. Then mark the corresponding letter on answer sheet 1 with a single line through the center.
Passage 1. Scientists have identified thousands of known ant species around the world, and only a few of them bug humans. Most ants live in the woods or out in nature. There, they keep other creatures in check, distribute seeds, and clean dead and decaying materials from the ground. A very small percentage of ants do harm to humans, but those are incredibly challenging to control. They are small enough to easily slip inside your house, live in colonies that number in the tens of thousands to the hundreds of thousands, and reproduce quickly. That makes them good at getting in and hard to kick out. Once they settle in, these insects start affecting your home. In addition to biting ants, other species can cause different kinds of damage. Some, like carpenter ants, can undermine a home structure, while others interfere with electrical units. Unfortunately, our homes are very attractive to ants, because they provide everything the colony needs to survive, such as food, water, and shelter. So how can we prevent ants from getting into our homes? Most important of all, avoid giving ants any access to food, particularly sugary food, because ants have a sweet tooth. We also need to clean up spills as soon as they occur and store food in airtight containers. Even garbage attracts ants, so empty your trash as often as possible and store your outside garbage in a lidded can, well away from doors and windows.
Questions 16 to 18 are based on the passage you have just heard. Question 16. What does the passage say about ants? Question 17. What do we learn from the passage about carpenter ants? Question 18. What can we do to prevent ants from getting into our homes? Passage 2. My research focus is on what happens to our immune system as we age. So the job of the immune system is to fight infections. It also protects us from viruses and from autoimmune diseases. We know that as we get older, it's easier for us to get infections. So older adults have more chances of falling ill. This is evidence that our immune system really doesn't function so well when we age. In most of our work, when we're looking at older adults who've got an illness, we always have to have health controls. So we work very closely with a great group of volunteers called the 1,000 Elders. These volunteers are all 65 or over, but in good health. They come to the university to provide us with blood samples, to be interviewed, and to help us carry out a whole range of research. The real impact of our research is going to be on health in old age. At the moment, we're living much longer. Life expectancy is increasing at 2 years for every decade. That means an extra 5 hours a day. I want to make sure that older adults are still able to enjoy their old age and that they're not spending time in hospital with infections, feeling unwell, and being generally weak. We want people to be healthy, even when they are old.
Questions 19 to 21 are based on the passage you have just heard. Question 19. What is the focus of the speaker's research? Question 20. What are the volunteers asked to do in the research? Question 21. What does the speaker say will be the impact of his research? Passage 3. When Ted Komada started teaching 14 years ago at Killip Elementary, he didn't know how to manage a classroom and was struggling to connect with students. He noticed a couple of days after school that a group of kids would get together to play chess. "I know how to play chess. Let me go and show these kids how to do it," he said. Now, Kamada coaches the school's chess team. The whole program started as a safe place for kids to come after school. And this week, dozens of those students are getting ready to head out to Nashville, Tennessee, to compete with about 5,000 other young people at the Super Nationals of Chess. The competition only happens every 4 years, and the last time the team went, they won the 3rd place in the nation. Kamada says chess gives him and his students control. The school has the highest number of kids from low-income families. Police frequent the area day and night, as 2 months ago a young man was shot just down the street. Kamada likes to teach his students that they should think about their move before they do it. The lessons prove valuable outside the classroom as well. Many parents see these lessons translate into the real world. Students are more likely to think about their actions and see whether they will lead to trouble.
Questions 22 to 25 are based on the passage you have just heard. Question 22. What did Ted Komada notice one day after he started teaching at Killip Elementary? Question 23. What are dozens of students from Komada's school going to do this week? Question 24. What do we learn about the students of Killip Elementary? Question 25. What have the students learned from Komada?
This is the end of listening comprehension.